Imagine a single bowl of rice, steam rising in the morning light, a fleck of fish sauce catching the sun, the subtle bite of lime at the edge. What can that bowl tell us about time, land, and community? Welcome to Ancient Echoes. I'm Samnang Bradley, and today we'll taste history as we explore Khmer cuisine, Cambodian foodways, and the stories behind the meals that shaped a people.
In today's episode, we're exploring Khmer New Year, how a 3-day celebration of time, water, and renewal carries centuries of memory and hope for Cambodians everywhere.
We'll also travel from rice fields and temple kitchens to village hearts and bustling streets. Along the way, I'll share evidence, stories from elders, and practical ways to respectfully engage with Khmer culinary heritage. Let's begin with the foundation, rice and land.
Rice is not just a crop in Cambodia. It is the axis around which social life has turned for centuries. The history of Angkor and the broader Khmer Empire is tied to irrigation, to seasonal flooding, and to labor systems that shaped settlement patterns. Think of the vast wet rice fields, paddy landscapes that are both technology and community. The contours of canals, reservoirs, and barais are historical texts written on the land itself.
From a cultural standpoint, rice also structures time. Planting and harvest seasons dictate festivals, ceremonies, and the rhythms of daily life. The meaning runs deep. Rice varieties, planting rituals, and even how a family shares a meal reflect identity and belonging.
Historically, large-scale rice production supported urban centers and temple economies. The food surplus made specialized crafts, monumental architecture, and complex social roles possible. But rice is also intimate. A household's grain stores were a safety net, a calendar, and a way to express care across generations.
Now let's move from fields to the sacred, temple, table, and ritual. Temples across Cambodia long served as centers for more than prayer. They were nodes of redistribution. Monks and lay communities exchanged food. Offerings were made daily, and certain dishes held symbolic weight.
The tradition of offering food at shrines and temples speaks to values of reciprocity. The evidence shows us that particular ingredients, sticky rice, certain fruits, and specially prepared sweets carry meanings tied to life stages, merit-making, and communal memory. Listen closely to this. How food is offered and to whom reveals social relationships.
Monastic food practices have their own rules. Monks often receive offerings and then share in simple, balanced meals that reflect a rhythm of restraint and gratitude. Temple kitchens, in some records, prepared food for festivals and for travelers, binding religious life to daily nourishment. The flavors on sacred plates often echo those of village hearths, reinforcing continuity between the communal and the ceremonial.
Beyond temples, the heart of Khmer food is the village kitchen. Let's unpack household knowledge, how recipes travel across generations through stories, not just written lists. Mothers, grandmothers, and neighbors transmit technique, how to pound a paste, how to read a mortar and pestle by sound and texture, how to judge fermentation by scent. These are embodied skills.
The layers matter. Gendered labor shapes who cooks, who forages, and who sells at market. But women's culinary knowledge is also creative labor. Household recipes adapt to seasons, shortages, and innovation. Preservation techniques, drying fish, smoking, pickling, are practical and cultural, carrying taste memories of place and time.
Picture a village morning, the clatter of a mortar, steam from a clay pot, neighbors exchanging a bag of salted fish. Oral instruction accompanies each step. Pound until the oil appears, or watch the pot until the aroma changes.
Those cues are as much a part of the recipe as the ingredients themselves.
Our next path follows the spice routes and trade winds. Cambodia's plates are shaped by movement, seasonal migration, merchants, and regional exchange. Fish paste, coconut, fermented products, chilies, and aromatics traveled with people and with trade goods. Khmer cuisine absorbs and reshapes flavors from neighbors and long-distance trade partners, creating regional hybrids that are unmistakably local.
Consider this perspective. Certain cooking techniques, grilling, steaming, and banana leaf fermentation, reflect both environmental adaptation and cultural preference. The pattern shows us that foodways evolved through contact, necessity, and creative choice. That's where culture lives.
As trade introduced new ingredients, everyday meals shifted. Street food in Phnom Penh and provincial markets display that layered history. Tropical fruits from regional exchange, spice blends shaped by centuries of movement, and snacks that tell stories of urbanization and mobility.
Food anchors festivals and feasts. Seasonal menus mark New Year, Chumben, harvest days, and family milestones. Communal meals are acts of social glue. Arranged marriages, house blessings, and memorials all use food to express kinship and memory. The act of sharing strengthens social bonds and transmits cultural meaning across generations.
The cultural significance is clear. Dishes served at particular moments carry layered meanings: comfort, respect, celebration, and mourning. Listen closely to this. The same recipe can be joyful at a wedding and solemn at a remembrance, and the context shapes how it is tasted and understood.
Today, preservation and revival efforts are vital. Cambodian chefs, community kitchens, diaspora initiatives, and scholars are documenting recipes, recording elders, and teaching young cooks. Cookbooks and YouTube videos bring visual context, but the most careful projects center community consent and accurate attribution. Ethical culinary tourism means asking permission, learning with humility, and supporting local stewards of knowledge.
The research tells us that revival is not about freezing a cuisine in time. It's about recognizing continuity and change and ensuring that communities benefit. Consider this perspective when you taste Khmer dishes abroad or at home. Whose hands shaped that recipe, and how can you honor that lineage?
Before we wrap up, here are a few practical takeaways for listeners who want to engage respectfully. Seek recipes from community-led sources, support Cambodian-owned restaurants and producers, ask questions when you visit markets and kitchens, and share stories rather than extracting them. If you cook, cite your source and the person who taught you.
Today, we've traced rice from field to feast, looked at temple kitchens and household practice, followed trade routes that shaped flavor, and considered how festivals and memory are braided through food. The deeper story is that Khmer cuisine is living history, one bowl at a time.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Ancient Echoes. We hope these stories helped you see Cambodian history and culture in a deeper, more human way.
If this episode resonated, please share photos, recipes, or stories with us on social media. Visit my YouTube channel for visual explorations of markets, village kitchens, and temple offerings that we mentioned today. Remember to credit community teachers when you share. Let's unlock the echoes of history together.
Until next time, thank you for listening to Ancient Echoes. We'll be back with another story from Cambodia's past that still shapes life today.
Closing with gratitude. Thank you for making space for these stories. We look forward to hearing your voices and recipes.
In the quiet of night, I whispered my plea, holding her close, hoping for her decree. I called upon spirits, asked them to guide. to take her heart and lead her by my side. So I drew her near, traced her brow so fair, my sight this way. Sacred power, Swahili, mighty spirit awakened. By the master's right, let her heart be gently taken. Let her follow me now by vow and by sign. I hear these words, oh teacher, witness this plea. Oh, my sacred power, Swahili.